Alright. Wow. This whole episode was just wow. That's the one only expression I can give to this episode. Like, wow. Uh, a completely good episode. This is the type of episode you could expect from Sound Listens. Like, I've seen that in first season, and that's why I love Sound Listens. It's one of my favorite. Maybe it's one of my all-time favorites on animes, and this is the reason why it is. Like, what a great episode! Especially the first half was just brilliant. Bond's backstory and everything. So basically, how it starts off is like Jenna. She basically says everyone to train off, and then we go through the intro and then stuff, and we move to this little storage place where Bond and Jericho, them they are keeping the werefox, and they're keeping the werefox so that because he's kind of ill and stuff, and he's like, I can join my son on the other side. And this episode in a whole was just awesome because the first half was just brilliant. And I'm not saying this is because I'm a Bond fan or anything. Like, this, there were really good moments in the first half because it's just so good, so brilliant. I'm not disagreeing the second half was not bad or anything. Second half was also brilliant, the development and stuff, but the first half is what got me the most. So let me just start off how it goes off. First of all, I really want to give this to A1 Studios because this episode had a lot of cursing, like a lot, for especially the first half, like a huge amount. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, Bond was cursing and shit in this first half of the episode. I was like, yo, and that was the little Bond, not even the elder Bond. So it's just like, yo, whoo, that is a lot. But anyways, it starts off with uh Zhivago, who saved Bond in the previous episode from the prison, if you remember. So they are in this kind of a hideout and stuff. And Zhivago, he basically is feeding Bond and stuff. And he reveals he has a son to him while he's feeding Bond and stuff. So that happens, and then we move on to the next scene where we see that Bond's parents, they were treating him horribly. Like, he was pretty much their slave, you could say, because they asked him to steal and stuff. You could see how badly his parents were treating him, and I'm assuming it's his parents without any doubt, because yo, who else will Bond go to? Like, I don't know who else will Bond go to if that's not his parents. So I'm just like, Bond was treated really badly, and yo, that's something I would like to bring up because it's something that's done in real world too, and I was really like, yo, this shit was getting me. Like, yo, Bond has gone through stuff. And then we see that Bond gets kidnapped, and basically because he wanted a goal, he gets kidnapped, and pretty much that goal turns out to be fake, and they kidnap him, these random people. So they kidnap him, and they're gonna take him to a noble who brutally murders and tortures and murders children. And I was like, yo, what? Like, where does this guy live in? Like, I know Raven is a bad town, but yo, what? Like, who? A noble who brutally tortures and kills kids? Are you kidding me? That's what a noble does in this world? Like, I have seen noble do things like mistreat people and stuff in season 1, and but I have never seen this shit. Like, whoa. Like, oh no. I was like, oh no, don't do that. And then just at that time, Zhivago, as expected, he comes and saves Bond, pretty much, because obviously plot. But moving on next, Bond asks Zhivago to teach him how to skill. Skill? What the hell is a skill? Why did you guys say skill out of all things? Jesus Christ. But whatever. Bond asked Zhivago to steal, to teach him to steal. How can he steal? So that's basically what we see. And we see that Zhivago is slowly becoming Bond's father figure. You could see it. Like, you could see that it's Bond's uh, idol. He is becoming Bond's idol, Zhivago. This man who's caring for Bond more than his own parents. He's becoming a father figure for Bond. And you could see it. You could see it developing out there. And you can feel the emotions coming out of the scene. Even though Zhivago wasn't much of a character in this episode, it's still, you could feel the feelings coming through that scene. You could see how, if you relate, anyhow, if somebody relates to this stuff, you could feel how it goes. Like, yo, that's just an awesome scene all over. So, Zhivago. And his son already knew about what they're doing. They already knew they were doing theft. They were committing theft and stuff, and they already knew that. So Zhivago told Bond to never trust humans. That's all he told to Bond. So that's all happens, and the next day, Bond begins to like steal from a mansion. Bond and Zhivago had planned to steal from a mansion. So Bond was getting bored because Zhivago was getting late. So he decided to go on into this mansion where they were going to steal stuff. And Bond goes to this mansion and gets caught. Zhivago, he woke up late, so he ran towards Bond, looking like going towards him. He wanted to help him. But then we see that there was a werefox, a child werefox found by some guards. And Zhivago was like, what am I gonna do? We could see that Zhivago was raising this werefox, the child werefox. And Zhivago is, what am I gonna do? One side I have a son who's Bond, who's just like my son. I literally treat him like my son. And one side I have another son, an actual son. And yes, Zhivago is a beast, man. He is a werefox. It was revealed in this episode he is a werefox and father of Tyrion. Tyrion, that's how you call his name, pronounce his name. I don't know correctly. But yeah, he's the father of that werefox. And Zhivago, you could see that he's hesitated. He doesn't know what to do. One side there is Bond, who is treating like a son, and one side it's his actual son. He doesn't know what to do. One side Bond is getting like bashed and stuff, and one side his own son is in trouble. So what he does is he goes for his own son, because obviously he has to go there. They would kill him. He knows that. He knows that werefox and humans, the history. He knows the history about them. He knows that the humans don't like the werefox. They will kill him instantly. So you start running after Tyrion, and you could see that Zhivago is hesitating. He's still crying. He knows he wants to save Bond, but he can't. He just can't save Bond because it's just that he can't save Bond because he wants to save him, but he can't because his own son is in danger. He goes running. In the end, he couldn't save his son, and that's what made me sad, because he did everything, and in the end, he couldn't save his son, and he thought he lost everything. At that moment, I was like, yo, that was the moment that actually kind of gave me a little glimpse, and it just broke my heart somehow. It's just like he did so much, and he's like, that one moment we all have in in all of our lives where we feel like we need to do things and we can't choose what we need to do, and both a road leads to a dead end. That's basically what happened to Zhivago here. Basically, both roads were dead end by his thinking. Both roads were dead end for him. He went for his own son. He couldn't save him. It's such a sad thing just to know that he actually tried his best to save both of them. Still, he couldn't choose which one to save, and he always regretted that. We saw that 30 years later now, and we see that he's regretting so hard that he hasn't saved his own son. He couldn't save Bon. And Bon, as we all know, is alive. We all know Bon is alive, and he's my favorite character. Even though manga fans say that he's been missing since quite a long time. So, but yeah, Bon is my favorite character without any doubt. Uh, and yeah, you could see that Bon, like, you could see that emotional scene between Bon and the 30-year later Zhivago. You could see that how their Zhivago was crying. Like, you could see that how he was being, like, how much he loved his own, like, his other son that he basically took under his wing. He trained him. You could see that in this one whole scene. Now, that was basically the first half of the scene, where Bond reveals everything. Like, Zhivago reveals everything. Bond is alive. That was revealed to Zhivago, and that's basically the whole first half of the episode. So once that happens, the second half is all action from there. It's all action and some information. Like, first of all, there is this one funny scene where Jenna basically tells them to take off their clothes because of training and stuff, and Gauter just takes everything off. It's so funny to see because knowing Gauter is just Gauter, it's just a funny scene because it's just like, yo, what? Yeah, okay. That wasn't expected. And what even surprised me was that Jenna wasn't even surprised to see him naked. I was like, okay. Actually, nobody was. It was like, okay. I didn't expect that. I could expect that from Merlin because obviously Merlin is Merlin, so you know what I mean. So but I was like, yo, this character is new. I'm pretty sure she doesn't know Gauter that well. I'm pretty sure about that. So I don't think so. She should not be surprised to see him naked. But okay, because I think so. Piggy and the others were surprised, except for Merlin. I think so. Everybody was surprised, except for Merlin and Jenna. And you could also see this little glimpse of what's his name? The guy with the sword, the huge saw sword. I forgot. You could see a little glimpse of him just looking at his dick or something. Like, yo, that was funny. Okay, but moving on to the next part. So, Gil Thunder and Hauser. Now they're training in. We're actually getting into the training session. Gil Thunder and Hauser. That training is this creature, this huge creature they have. They are training against this creature, and I think so. They call them the Glade Dragon, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Don't forget to correct me down in the comments below because I'm not good with naming, because I forget the names pretty easily. But we see that Gil Thunder and Hauser are training and fighting against this creature together. And we see that Gil Thunder's lightning and Hauser's wind. They pretty much don't do any damage to this creature. And Gil Thunder, I think so, both of them were had immune. The creature was immune to lightning and wind, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, alright? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that the creature was not taking damage, at least, from the lightning and wind they were throwing at him. And I think so, he was immune. Now I may be wrong again, but I think so he was immune to it. But again, if he was not immune, he's at least not taking damage from lightning and wind. Now, that moves on, and Gil Thunder and Hauser are arguing against each other. They're like, "Oh, you are too rigid," and Gil Thunder is, "Hauser, you're not going in without a plan. You're too careless to move in. You're too reckless to go in." And we see this because Gil Thunder has always been rigid since season 1. We have seen that happen. He doesn't have the mental stability to do the right thing when the right, like, in a quick situation, doesn't have the mentality to do the right thing. On the other hand, Hauser, he's reckless. He just goes in. Just like some Goku shit. He expects that he'll be as cool as Goku, going recklessly into the battle. Yeah, what do you expect? Are you expecting to be as reckless as Goku? Because Goku is a martial artist. Don't get me wrong. He can do stuff, but Hauser is not a martial artist. Come on, he's not expected to go in just recklessly and fight. Yeah, so that's how they're about. So Gil Thunder doesn't have the mental stability to actually play like plan out what's going on. On the other hand, Hauser doesn't plan out anything. He just goes recklessly into the battle. That's what was implied here. So we see that they are focusing on those those weaknesses. They're basically focusing on those weaknesses they have. Guild Thunder is focusing on getting a good mental stability. On the other hand, Hauser is focusing on not being reckless. So what he does basically is Hauser, if I'm correct, he focuses all of his power onto the tip of the branch they're fighting with. He focuses all of the power on the tip of the branch they're fighting with, and you could see that this huge wind comes out of that branch, and it's a very cool moments I see. And then Guild Thunder, yo, I'm not gonna lie, Guild Thunder was cool. That was cool. Yo, if they ever make a 7 Deadly Sins create your custom character now game, yo, I'm gonna play Guild. I'm gonna take Thunder. I'm gonna take a Lightning Thunder shit, cause yo, that shit was cool. That was cool, cause I love that. Like Guild Thunder, yo, I love his lightning moves. Like, yo, not gonna lie, what a great move. So that happens. Guild Thunder just goes. He gets a shield. He gets an armor of lightning. He gets a sword of. He gets his branch in lightning. I was like, yo, this is so cool. And then Guild Thunder and Hauser pretty much had a weak finish, to be honest. That's what was implied here, because they couldn't finish their opponent. That's what they did everything right, but they couldn't finish their opponent. That was their mistake. That's what it was said. So now, Gauthor and Arthur, we see this that Gauthor and Arthur, they are fighting a golem together, and pretty much Gauthor and Arthur, god damn it, these names, like, they are all at the end, like, you know, she's just like, yo, I can't take it. But yeah, Gauthor and Arthur, they're fighting golems together, and you could see that Arthur breaks off the golem, but the golem doesn't stay down. So Gauthor just, pew, you know, that attack he makes with his pink bow, you know, pink bow, which manipulates the memory, pink needle, whatever that is. It manipulates the memory. I don't remember much about Gauthor. He wasn't relevant at all in the first season, so I don't remember much about him. He was a cool character, but he wasn't relevant at all. Like, only thing he was relevant for was just to give Dreyfus that bad memory, nothing else. But yeah, that was it. Gauthor, he goes, shoots the needle into that head, and gets sliced in half. He gets his head chopped off, just like in first season, and then Gauthor just catches that. Like Arthur is panicking. He's like, "Whoa, stop! What's happening?" Gauthor is getting his head chopped, and then Gauthor just catches his head. He's like, "I'm all right. Nothing's happened to me." And Arthur's like, "Yo, what? I didn't expect that. What? How does that happen?" It's cool to see that shit. And then we move on to the next scene, and this is kind of a serious scene where King wanted to train. He wanted to basically train to save Diane, like we all know. So King wanted to train, and Jenna, what she basically says to King is to train with Hendrickson. That is the base plan to train King train with Hendrickson. But instead, Meliodas agrees to train with King, and they both go in, and Meliodas pretty much explains to King. Now we all know King has a huge hatred boner for what's his name, Hendrickson. He had a huge hatred boner for him because of what he did, and Meliodas is like, you should forgive him because it wasn't his fault. Obviously he did unforgivable stuff, but it wasn't his fault. He was been manipulated by Dreyfus, one of the 10 commandments who's taken over Dreyfus's body. And King is like, yo, how do you know the names of this commandment? How do you know them so well? How do you know that Galan and everybody? How do you know these guys? And he starts to begin to doubt Meliodas. And King pretty much asks him, you are from the demon clan, aren't you, Meliodas? We all know he was from the demon clan because in season 1 they already said it, that Meliodas was from the demon clan. If I'm correct, was it Herblum? Herblum, what the hell? What was his name? King's best friend, whatever. The fairy. I think it was him who said it, or either it was him, or either it was, if I'm correct, Hendrickson. Either one of those should told him. But yeah, that's basically how it goes. And King pretty much Meliodas and King are gonna fight in the next episode, my guess, because the episode cuts off right over there. Now, next episode is quite an interesting title because father and son. So we will be diving more into Bond's storyline because yeah, that'll be cool. Bond's storyline, yeah, because I feel like this will be one. This is a great like episode. I'm not gonna lie. Like from 1 to 10, my scaling up for this episode has to be 9.5. It has to be that. I mean, I still saw some flaws here and there in episode, cause and I'm especially in the second half. I guess I saw the flaws, but it's not that big of a flaw for me. I could have given it a 10 out of 10 too, because just an awesome episode all over. But for me, it's a 9.5 out of 10. It was a great episode all over, especially the first section having such a great emotion. It had so much a brilliant story build up to Bond and Zhivago's relationship, and then the second half, just the training. You can see the training and stuff. It was a great session. Like, it was a really good session. I want to know when will Merlin start training, because we all know that Merlin is also needed to train. So I'm wondering where she would start training, because she was standing outside too. So my guess is that Merlin is gonna start training with Hendrickson, if anything, because look, not Bond, Meliodas and King are training with together. We got Hendrickson remaining. We got Hauser and Gil Thunder. We don't know where Dreyfus' son is. We know that Merlin is still out there and Hendrickson is still out there. And if I'm correct, Hawk and Dreyfus' son will be training together. I think so. Hawk will play a big role in this particular season. I just have that feeling that Hawk will play a big role. For some reason, I just have that feeling. Okay, I don't know why, but I have that feeling that Hawk will play a big role in this season, because Hawk has always been the comedic side of this series. But see what his mother can do, like legit what his mom can do. She took a blast of like a phoenix blast of this command, but into her stomach like it was nothing. I'm pretty sure Hawk is gonna do something big, cause that is gonna it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. Hawk is gonna do something. He's gonna get a power boost somehow. He's gonna be useful. I want to believe that for now, at least. If I'm wrong, please. Well, you guys can roast me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So what do you think? Where do you scale this episode? Again, I say it's 9.5 for me. What a great episode all over for me. It was a great episode. I'm not gonna lie. It was just a great episode for me. It's awesome episode. And with that, I'm gonna end this session of review and discussion of Sunday Listens Season 2, Episode 10. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like if you like my content. I don't know why I say as I do, because that's my subscribe slogan. I don't know. You know, just like my video, if you like my content, that is. Otherwise, dislike that Fate Extra. Was that Fate Extra? Too much extra content, you know. You said wrong things in Fate Extra, though. You said that Fate Extra was confusing. Yeah, what a great video. Jesus Christ. But anyways, don't forget to like the video if you like my content, and don't forget to subscribe as I do more gaming and anime content. And until next time, peace.